Welcome back to AITSM show. In these series of episodes, we will try to demystify one area of ITSM, that is problem management. In problem management, the crucial part of it is problem analysis and resolution. So we are trying to introduce some of the methods, some of the structured way of attacking the problems here. So first of it is we will try to decipher Kepner-Tregoe method of problem analysis, which is popularly called KTPA, which is a very popular method for IT professionals to resolve technical problems and issues. The first step of KTPA is stating the problem in the right way. So while describing the problem, are you referring to symptoms? Are you referring to general emotions? Why this is happening this time only and likewise? So that is not the right way to state the problem. A problem should be stated with either delays or maybe deviation. So whenever problem is stated like this, you will be sure that you are actually attacking the problem and it will be helpful for further analysis. Suppose your problem is users are not able to access the application for a period of time. You will state the problem as payroll application was not accessible between 10 to 1 a.m. Simple, isn't it? Ensuring we are not trying to solve multiple problems and adding multiple problem statements here. The next step of KTPA is specify the problem in details in 4 dimensions. So first dimension is what? So what is the object it has impacted? What is the deviation we are having? And what is the specific delays we are observing here? So that part will come in what? The next dimension is where this problem has occurred, in which area, which segment of users are experiencing the problem, and likewise. The next dimension is when the problem has been occurred. So it is between 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. But in the past, whether it has occurred and what are the patterns of it. So whether it is morning hours, afternoon hours or evening hours. So that kind of time or patterns we will observe it here. The next dimension is extent or whatever is the magnitude of this problem. So magnitude in terms of how many users are affected. So maybe within this user segment there are only 20% of people had observed this, or like some of the area where this problem had occurred, it may have extended 3 hours or 4 hours and likewise. Now the magical part of KTPA comes here. For these 4 dimensions, what you will be tracking is like is and is not. Say payroll application is experiencing this problem, but the other HR application is still working fine. So other applications are working fine, but this application only has the problem. So now you will have a basis of comparison. So what is and what is not. So whenever we are actually tracking what, when, where and extent, so we will be comparing it with what is there and what is not there. So we will be tracking the where. So if it is for London user, or it is for US user, or it is for Indian users. So, but it is not for maybe Asia and South Asia or other area. It is not there. So you will be having some kind of comparison between how the problem has occurred in this area and you are just segregating in some other area which is isolated from the problem. So it will increase your focus towards the issue, right? So now we have specified the problems on 4 dimensions and we have the comparison basis of is and is not. now we have a typical board which we are looking at, and the next step will say whether something is standing out or there is something which has been changed during this problem event. So the first is like what has been standing out here, right? Say you are having the problem only with Europe user, right? So this is standing out there. And if there is this problem is happening only in the afternoon, so that is standing out for you, right? So now that is the distinction. What distinction or what is standing out here, right? Now what has been changed during the event, before the event, or maybe in the last few months towards the event? So if there is some change happened in, say, some modules, some application, some network, or maybe a way where users are operating in some different patterns here, like say for European users who are experiencing this problem, they have started to use mobile application more and they are not using the desktop application, right? And there may be a peak usage there for them, right? There may be these kind of possibilities there, right? So what has been changed there? So once you have what is standing out and what has been changed, now you will have some kind of idea about the cause of the problem. The next step now is you have now 4 dimension, is and is not, and then you have identified changes and you have identified what has been standing out. Now you can have some possible causes there. So say if change and standing out statement for this problem is because of European people are using it on mobile more, and during the afternoon the usages are most. So because of that this problem is occurring. So why it is happening like that, right? So then you come to know there was a change which has happened in mobile application which actually establishes the connection but do not actually destroy it, right? That change has been applicable just before that event 1 or 2 days back, right? And when people started using more and more mobile application, system is not able to handle those connections and that volume of connections, right? So that could be a possible cause. We are still in the hypothesis, we are still in the possibility of the causes here. So we can just say this is the possible cause. We can say there might be 2 or 3 causes based on these dimensions and this data and pattern, right? But there could be maybe 3 possible causes. So next step, what we will do? We will do a kind of experiment. We will see whether this cause is actually associated with whatever specific is happening or not. So if we are able to establish that link, so we are sure that at least there may be this possible cause is impacting this issue. But sometimes it may not happen. Like say suppose if European users are having issues and we are not able to identify the changes and all, so we cannot establish the link here, right? So if there is a link and there is a specificity of that cause and impact as this event, then probably your hypothesis may be correct. So now you have to experiment, you have to fix that cause first and then try to see whether it happens or not in your test environment, or maybe you can do some certain kind of performance testing here by generating user load on mobile applications and likewise, and maybe utilizing some kind of APIs and all. So then you will be sure that this problem will be resolved, right? So that is the way, the full way of actually attempting this problem. As you know, right from the start we have just given one specific problem in one statement, then we have specified the problem in 4 dimensions, and most importantly is or is not for comparison. This is the pretty crucial steps, and basically this is so magical that you can even find many of the causes or many of the root causes here itself. The next part is equally important, where you can have what is standing out and what are the changes made in the system, maybe in the past, maybe that time or that day or some few days back, or for that user segments and all, right? So that way KTPA attempts to resolve a problem by identifying the root cause, and as a process it will try to fix and implement a kind of hypothesis there, right? Okay, by fixing this, maybe this problem will be resolved, right? So then you will be very sure that that problem is having resolved or not, right? If it resolves in your testing systems, and likewise you will be pretty sure that it has been resolved, right? Thanks a lot for listening, and here host Anand Tambe is signing off. I hope it has been very helpful to you, and you will be having more courage and more structured way of problem solving in your toolkit by having this KTPA method. And in the next episodes we will be exploring more and more methods of problem solvings, and it would be interesting to see how even the latest methodologies, or even some methodologies which are applicable to any other areas also, it could be used in ITSM to solve the problem. So yes, it would be very interesting path ahead. So please be with me for the next episodes of this, and please share it generously if you like it, and let us know what we could add more, what are the topics we can touch upon. Thanks. Bye bye.